Did you know there are 24 enemies that you have to deal with in Resident Evil 4? But with so many enemies, it prompts the question, which one is the most deadly or most annoying to deal with? Here's my top 5. First things first, I want to be perfectly clear going in that I'll only be ranking boss battle characters. Ones that take time, test your limits, put on the pressure, and really try your patience. But don't worry, because there are many side and mini bosses too that definitely fit this category as well. So stay tuned for follow-up rankings done for those specific characters coming up. Let's start with the Salazar Virgo hybrid boss fight. Now, you may be taken back by this boss being first and lowest on the list, but hear me out. This boss is and can be challenging, factoring in all the things that you have to pay attention to while trying to keep your focus on your main target, which in this case is Salazar in his little chrysalis cocoon. I'm telling you, this thing is harder to get through than a metapod that just used harden. But while that's going on, you also have the tentacles to worry about. The plagas waiting on the lower level. And that one-hit kill rush attack can be triggered at just about any moment. So why is this boss first on the list, you might be wondering still? Well, even though there is a lot going on, if you know what you're doing and pay attention to the quick time prompts, stay on the upper level, as well as have some good shots in the mix, this boss is over quite quickly. Not to mention that you can KO him in just 3 shots with a fully upgraded hand cannon. Which brings us to number 4. Next up in my book, we're talking about the Vertigo. And yes, everything is of Spanish descent in this game, so it could be like Verdugo or Vertigo or anything like that. AKA Salazar's other right hand. And now, I'm a veteran at this game, and the horror elements of this section are kind of long gone for me. But for those new to the game, this section will definitely send some chills and make some stress lines.
I didn't fall for that.
It starts in a confined area with limited space and makes for close quarters combat, for which you are more than less equipped to deal with. For example, even if you have the Chicago typewriter or the hand cannon, weapons that normally KO all other enemies with only 1 to 3 shots at minimum, it takes a fair amount of showers of bullets to take this right guy down, and 10 shots from the hand cannon. This is the only other enemy in the game, other than the final boss, that requires more than 1 to 3 shots with the most powerful weapon, secondary most powerful weapon. And just a reminder, his brother was just taken down after his Super Sentai, or should I say, Super Hentai, merged transformation with Salazar with only 3 shots from the hand. This character is a merge between the alien and the predator.
Ugly motherfucker.
Try to unsee that now. Has a near impenetrable outer skin, can climb on the walls and ceilings. It is an understatement to say that he's fast, and he's not without intellect, or smugness for that matter. But the reason why he is fourth on this list is because he's stronger than his brother and grandpa combined.
Huh? Brother, this guy stinks!
But was given a convenient flaw in an area filled with convenience. Now, it's also safe to say that this character is half insectoid, because like most insects with an exoskeleton, he's vulnerable to severe cold. Hey, just like the T-1000. Hey look, another connection to Arnold. No, you only get one. So, with quick utilization of the CO2 canisters that are scattered throughout this section, you can utilize them, if you need to give you the proper time to readjust, recalculate, and reload until this baddie is put on ice.
Huh?
Which brings us to number 3. That's right, people. The final boss only hits halfway in my book. He was going to be on our list one way or another, so let's just get into it now. Final bosses aren't always as hard as you think they might or should be. This is an ongoing trend, unfortunately done with many other games throughout the generations. Like Rocksteady from TMNT, King Bob-omb from Mario 64, Papu Papu from Crash Bandicoot, Naughty from Donkey Kong series from Super Nintendo, Ganon on multiple occasions, and Bob the Killer Fish, which is laughable and the developers knew what they were doing here. But there are 3 main mechanics or flaws that a final boss can suffer from that'll make them less than entertaining to deal with, and not in a comedic way. Predictable attacks. They often have very clear and repetitive attack patterns that are easy to dodge or counter. Limited offensive options. Their move set might be small, leaving few ways to actually damage the player. And poor design choices. Sometimes the final boss fight is poorly balanced compared to the rest of the game, making it feel quite underwhelming. Well, Old Sally here definitely fits the mold, based on those descriptions. I'm telling you, he moves slower than Dr. Nefario. Has many exploitable vulnerabilities.
The exits are here. Anyway!
One being, you can hit him really hard. Not to mention, you're given an easy way out, whether you're struggling with him or not, by way of the special rocket launcher given to you by Ada halfway into the fight.
Use this!
Now, he would have been lower on our list, but as stated before, his lack of vulnerability to the 3-2-1 dead from Ye Olde Hand Cannon puts him higher than a few others on this list. This brings us to it. No, not that one. Or that one. Yep, this one. The one that reminds me of the villain from Temple of Doom. I don't know, maybe it's the red topped head. Or maybe I'm thinking of another connection. Anyway, this gruesome creature gets our second place spot for the old soften you up before the final fight routine. You are made to go through a mini maze where you have to deal with the creature in close quarter settings. Deja vu. Being stuck in such small spaces leaves you open to many of its surprise attacks, which are done through make or break QTEs, which stands for quick time events for those of you who don't know. These sneak attacks wouldn't be so bad if it weren't for the fact that they drain so much of your health. It takes you from full health to near danger zone if you're caught pushing the wrong button prompt. The more of these that you fail, the more resources you are forced to use up, And remember, you still have the actual fight coming up, and you might need those sweet, sweet health items just to make it through it. In the actual fight with the creature has, by this point, grown an additional helper in this battle, and is broken up into 2 stages, and the second is more tedious than the first, simply because of the heightened speed the creature is granted and the long chain attacks that could mean game over in only 2 hits. But if you have the right tools, had a pretty good run in the maze beforehand, and pay attention to your surroundings both in and out of the maze, then this it creature becomes manageable to the point where even an it could do it.
Huh? Okay, well, I deserve that.
And here we are at our number 1 spot. And who else should get this spot other than your old brother in arms?
Been a long time, comrade. Krauser.
This battle is very similar to the last one against the It boss, where there's a mini maze and obstacles that you have to traverse through before even getting close to the real fight against the main boss. There are mini drones that you have to worry about. Krauser himself popping up throughout the corners. And it adds to the difficulty that places this fight above the last one are specifically those mini QTE knife fights against Krauser. That with 1 or 2 misses will result in starting over everything you just did. And that also adds to the difficulty for this boss because of the mental strain you will go through by having to do things over and over again with each failure. The final fight, and real fight in my book, can have its own challenges, with Krauser now being given an upgrade and getting a new arm or claw.
Nothing can stop the claw!
That doubles as a shield, which gets old fast. Now, the rule of thumb for defeating this enemy quickly is supposed to be done by using your knife on him over and over again, swiping at his legs, and him getting just close enough to keep getting hit until you defeat him. But getting the proper setup for this quick KO isn't easy, so don't expect to get it on your first go if you're new to the franchise and to the game of Resident Evil and Resident Evil 4.
Huh? Okay.
But with that, we come to the end of my top 5 lists. So what do you guys all think? Do you agree with my choices as well as the things I said? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to not miss out on any of my future content and more Resident Evil 4 fun.